sing a happy song together, and we'll all be a happy family.
Well, hi, welcome back to the channel. So the other day I posted a little video saying maybe one day, where I looked at two possible projects to build a theremin from scratch. So I want to make it clear this is not a repair video, and this is quite a long-term project that I will look into as to whether or not I can actually achieve this. Now, whether I'll be able to stick to this original project or cut some corners and use some modern stuff to do it, I don't know. But this was published in November 1967 in a magazine called Popular Electronics, and the one that people showed most interest in was the transistorized version rather than the valve or tube version. So this is the transistorized version from the 1960s, and there are 4 pages, I think, of this. So that's the first one, and there's the second one. Now, what I've got to think about, and there's several things I've got to think about really regarding components. There are quite a few inductors on it. I think they're all the same. There's 4 inductors, which I could possibly use old IF transformers out of a radio or something like that. I've actually got some cores which I bought with no windings on them at all, just the empty cores with the slugs inside to wind my own coils onto it. So I could experiment, and I'll come back to that one later when I get to it, but at the moment I would have to construct the 4 adjustable inductors. So that's one issue that comes to mind. Okay, that's that page. Then the next page, page 3, it goes on about installing and operating. So basically you feed it into a guitar amp or something like that, and so it hasn't got its own amplifier built in, which makes it simpler. And then it goes into how to play it, the operation, which I gather takes a lot of skill. And then it describes here how the circuit functions. So yeah, there's enough details there to work on it if I can get the bits right. Now it does come with a circuit PC board as described here. It has occurred to me that if I want to, I could just breadboard this without actually getting a PC made up, but lay it out basically the same way. I just do use ordinary board with straight links of wire underneath to breadboard it, to try it out again if I can get the bits right. There we are. There's a circuit diagram there and a component list. So I will be looking at trying to find the transistors. It's got Q1, Q and Q4 are MPS 3638 Motorola transistors. Q3 and Q5 are MPS 3708 Motorolas. Then there's Q6 and Q7 TIS 59 N-channel FETs. They're Texas Instruments ones. The other components, these are just resistors, some very large resistors here, 4.7 megs, so I'll probably end up having to use 1 megs to make those up. And I don't think I've got anything that big. Capacitors, I've probably got ones that will do. Again, it's all going to be a bit sensitive, so maybe they won't work, I don't know. Right, so let's just consider really how these things work basically, in basic terms. See if I've got a piece of blank paper that I can scribble on. And a Sharpie. Right. So basically what you have is a variable oscillator and a fixed oscillator, and you then take the outputs of these and mix them so you get the difference between them. So let's say for argument's sake we ran it at 700 kilohertz and we set this one initially to be the same. Now this one you want to stay fixed at that. This one, what you have is an aerial, and it does seem to recommend having triangular shaped antenna on there. So really the tiny capacitance effectively between the antenna and the ground on this one of your hand coming near this antenna, this tiny, probably a fraction of a picofarad or something, is enough to shift this off frequency. So as you bring your hand nearer or further away, you're varying this capacitance, which will vary this frequency a tiny amount. And the difference between that and that, say you got a difference between these two of, say, something like 440 hertz, which is audio. That's, I think, a note A on the music scale. That's for argument's sake. Then the difference between this one and this one will give you the audio out. Now you feed that into an amplifier which is varied by another antenna. And then the output of that is your signal out. I'm not as of yet sure how this works, but basically, again, bringing your hand closer or further to this one will increase or lower the volume. So that's the volume, and that's the pitch. So you don't actually touch the machine when you're playing it. You move your hands nearer or further from these antennae to change the pitch and volume. So yeah, when you're setting it up, you set these up to be the same frequency, and this is going to be extremely delicate. And I'm wondering whether it won't need to be shielded or anything, but we'll find out. But that's basically what it is. It's a musical instrument that you play without touching it by moving your hands to affect the volume and the pitch. So anyhow, that's the first stage of this. So for that different sound, music a la Theremin. whether I can get the parts, whether I can find equivalents to those transistors, whether I can make up the little coils, the inductors, that's going to be the subjects probably of later videos, so it might be tedious and a bit boring. I'll try not to make it so, but that's what I'm looking at, and it is a long-term project, and other videos will be put out in between on the more usual things, but my first stage, as I say, is to try and see whether I can obtain the transistors that will work, and whether I can make these inductors to give me, it's 50 to 300 microhenries I've got to achieve, and hopefully I can do that with the little coil formers that I've got. So at that point I'll conclude this video, and I'm going to put all these videos in my playlist section. So some of the projects I've done in more recent times, I've put all the videos that go together with them into playlists now, so they're in the playlist section if you want to follow through a project from beginning to end. Because I notice that a lot of YouTubers make very long videos, about an hour long or more, and I tend to make short ones, about 10 to 12 minutes, something like that, and then build a series. So if somebody likes to watch a long video that brings a project from beginning to end, watch it in one go, then how about going to the playlists and watching them one after another? Okay, so that's it for now, and I hope this is of interest to people, and I say I'm open to comments and suggestions about obtaining these bits, and it's a possibility that I could use an alternate method for creating the oscillators, but I want to try and follow this project if I can. So I'll say thanks for watching, and catch you all later, and bye for now.
Sing the happy song together, fill the air with harmony. Sing the happy song together, that's the song to choose. For pushing away the blues, keep the heartstrings throbbing, and the good times coming, if we keep on humming.